is a woman who was to be deported back to the Caribbean has now been granted stay because her husband doesn't like spicy food. And this is just one of a continued number. I can't even remember. I've lost count of the amount of videos I've done recently where we have had people who should have been deported, but they're not because of the most bonkers reasons you've ever heard.
Hi, guys, and welcome back to the Caribbean Spot. Quick question: could spicy food and hot weather actually stop someone from being deported? Let's find out. A Grenadian woman is fighting to stay in the UK, arguing that her Latvian husband can't handle Caribbean food and the climate. But beyond the headlines, there's a serious legal battle at play, and public opinion is on fire over this case. Let's break it down. And don't forget, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. Okay, so who is Lynthia Calliste? And she's a 35-year-old Grenadian woman who entered the UK in March of 2018 on a 6-month visitor visa. She overstayed her visa, living illegally in the UK. Later, she married Latvian national Konstantins Vinakovs, who has permanent settled status in the UK. After she got married, she applied for a spousal visa, which triggered deportation proceedings by the UK Home Office. Well, Lynthia's defense, her argument is deportation would violate her right to family life under Article 8 of the European Convention on Human Rights. She further claims that her husband wouldn't cope in Grenada because, one, spicy food. He isn't used to it daily, and the hot and humid climate. It's too extreme for him. Her exact words were, "There's a big difference between liking the odd curry and having hot meals constantly in a humid country." And I believe this is her defense, as I read online, after people went on her social media and stuff and saw her cooking Grenadian food for her husband, right? So that was her defense. Hey, yeah, he gets it sometime, but he's getting it in a cold climate, right? And it's not in Grenada. I mean, very weak defense in my view, right? And that's what the internet finds as well. Okay, so her husband, Constantines, has permanent settled status, right? And this is similar to the US green card. What does this mean? Well, he can live, work, and remain in the UK indefinitely. He can access public benefits and health care. He can't be deported unless he commits a serious crime, just like the US, right? And he can apply for British citizenship after 12 months, right? So after a year, compared to the US, I believe it's 5 years or something, right? So he's not a citizen. I'm guessing he maybe have not applied for his citizenship as yet. But anyway, let's move on. So here's the problem. Lynthia does not have settled status, right? Since she overstayed her visa, the UK Home Office is pushing for deportation because she is illegal over there. Okay, so the judge in the case in November 2024, the first tier tribunal ruled against her, right? Judge Mark Blundell dismissed her claims, stating her husband regularly eats Caribbean food and hasn't struggled. Then he went on to say no substantial evidence that the Caribbean climate would harm him. But she's not giving up. She has appealed to the upper tribunal. While the case is ongoing, she remains in the UK until the final decision. Hey everyone, I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank you for watching. If you're enjoying this content and want to see more, do me a huge Caribbean favor. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and drop a comment below. Your support helps me grow this channel and build a strong Caribbean community where we can have real conversations. Let's keep this momentum going. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Now back to my commentary. Social media has erupted with mixed opinions on this case. Many people mock the defense, arguing it is ridiculous to use food and weather as a reason to stay in the UK. One Twitter user wrote, it is to be peak Caribbean to attempt to use spicy food as an argument against deportation. Others defend her, saying deporting a married woman might be too harsh. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section, right? Does she have a great defense? Or is her defense weak? Do you think they are being too harsh with deporting a married woman? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so in an exclusive interview with the Daily Mail, Lynthia said the reason why she left Grenada was to get away from an ex-partner who was violent towards her. She said after they broke up, he continued to harass her and to stalk her at work. So she got some money together and she came to England to get away from him and to get some space. Okay, so Lynthia proceeded to tell the Daily Mail that when she moved to the UK, she stayed with a friend initially, but then her son moved over to the UK a year later and then they got a place together. She said she fears returning to Grenada because her ex will target her again. She said, plus, her family home, the place where she grew up, is no longer standing. It was destroyed in a hurricane which hit Grenada last September. She said her brother sent her photos of the rumble. She said there's no home for her to return to. So she went on to say that she met her husband on a dating app and then they pretty much moved in together. They got married in 2022 at the registry office, and it was there that she applied for the marital visa, and that prompted the Home Office to launch the investigation into her immigration status, right? And the article went on to say that initially the first case that she had was thrown out and then she appealed. So they said she's allowed to remain in the UK until she has exhausted all stages of her latest appeal effort. Went on to tell Daily Mail that she built a life in the UK and all the stress and upheaval of moving back to Grenada would be too much, not just for her, but her son, who now is studying for his GCSEs. She said his life is in England now. Okay, so if you recall, previously I mentioned that her husband, he has what is equivalent to the US green card, right? It's called a permanent settled status in the UK, and he can obtain his citizenship after 12 months, a year, right? Well, reading this article, here he is telling the Daily Mail that he's been in the UK for 10 years. 10 years. And he still has his green card equivalent. He said, I've paid taxes throughout and worked hard. I've paid for all of my wife's legal bills. It's been an incredibly expensive process. Why should I have to leave all that I have worked for? My job is here. My friends are here. Grenada is a tiny island. Hey, Grenadians, calling out Grenadians right now. Don't eat him up, but come on, Grenadians, come in this chat right now. Grenada is a tiny island. To say that there just aren't the sorts of employment opportunities that there are here in the UK. And I agree. You know, he made a truthful statement, right? Grenada is a tiny island, and yes, employment opportunities are very limited. He said, if I have to go to the Caribbean with my wife, I wouldn't see my mother or sister. He said, at the moment, it's easy for them to visit us in the UK because it costs the equivalent of £50 and takes 3 hours. He said to visit Grenada would cost them thousands and it would take them 15 hours to get to Grenada, and they cannot do that. This case highlights the role of the UK immigration system in balancing the enforcement of immigration laws with the legal right to family life and protection claims. The Home Office has the responsibility to uphold immigration rules, and that's what they're doing in this case, right? While individuals facing deportation can appeal on various grounds, including personal safety and family ties. And I guess that is part of her argument, right? The courts ultimately determine whether an applicant's circumstances justify remaining in the UK under the law. Okay, what do you think? Should personal circumstances such as fleeing an abusive relationship or a spouse's difficulty adapting to a new country outweigh immigration enforcement? Or should the law be applied strictly regardless of personal situations? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Okay, guys, I just want to say that I do not condone domestic violence at all. So, in that situation where this lady is claiming that she fled Grenada because of a violent relationship, if I was her, for my defense, what I would do, maybe she had made a police report back home in Grenada, she can request a copy of that police report to use in her defense. She can also get, if probably her, because she said he would stalk her at her job. So I'm sure probably her bosses saw this, right? And maybe also her coworkers witnessed this. Hence, she can ask her boss and coworkers and anyone else who is privy to this situation happening to do an affidavit stating what they witnessed, and she can use this as part of her defense. At this point, I think her case is weak, stating that your husband, can't eat spicy food and the weather. I mean, that is really, really weak, right? I think her strongest defense is to prove she did flee an abusive situation in Grenada and returning, her life may be in danger, right? To me, again, I think this is her strongest defense. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with someone, and leave your thoughts in the comment section. God bless and keep it on. Bye.